Yo, Rocco B Scotty G. It is Monday, January 29th, 2024. This is Pro Football Uncensored. This is Naked Bootleg.
This is a bootleg. Then he comes right back with another bootleg.
I'm Rocco B, the longest reigning heavyweight champion of all time in Louisville, Kentucky, and back in our lovely hometown of Toms River, New Jersey, is the stud muffin of all the stud muffins, baby, Scotty G. How you doing, Scotty?
How you doing?
Woo-wee!
Hell of a weekend, my brother.
What did we get into this weekend? Unbelievable.
There's a lot of storylines going down, a lot of different, a lot of legacies on the line, a lot of interesting things this weekend. And my pockets are a little lighter than they were on Friday. I got to tell you.
We will get into that later.
Yeah, not a great weekend for me.
I saved our picks. I made sure not to delete them. And, oh boy.
How was your weekend, though? You all right? You had a good weekend?
Weekend was great.
Do anything crazy?
My big boy is a big Mahomes fan, so that's a huge.
Oh, he had a hell of a weekend.
But we're gonna get into it. I think we should get into it right now, and we're gonna get into the NFC Championship game. I think to start off, right?
NFC. You want to start on the NFC side?
No, we gotta go to the AFC. We gotta go to the
Okay.
AFC.
Okay.
And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at this game here: Kansas City at Baltimore. Unbelievably, 17-10, the final score. Baltimore was favored by 4.5 points by the time this game kicks off. And the fucking Chiefs. When are we going to learn, Scotty? When are we going to learn?
How the fuck is Mahomes in the Super Bowl again?
When are we going to learn?
And look, I got more respect for Mahomes than you did. You were the one like, oh, I got to see him do it. Like, you're out of your fucking, you're out of your tits with that idea.
When are we going to learn?
I already have Mahomes to me. I already have Mahomes as a becoming a top 5 quarterback all time, might be a top 2 when it's all said and done. I already had that in my mind, but this team, like, dude, I don't care how good Tom Brady is. I don't care how good Joe Montana is, Dan Marino. You can't do it by themselves. They can't do it by themselves. You need a team. And to me, it's Mahomes and fucking Kelsey out there as the whole team. I don't know how they're in this position. Now, I get the defense been playing well, but I don't know. I'm going to take a step back. I want to hear your views on the whole game real quick.
I just want us to get into. We're going to get into the minutia of the game. We're going to go details.
Minutia.
There's only 2 fucking games this weekend. It's the last weekend, Scotty. Like I'm telling you, it's a sad state of affairs when it's the last weekend with more than just one game. Of course.
I see. I told you I'm excited because my season's just about to start. Like the good times of my season are just
our season is about to start, Scotty. That's how it goes. What I have here.
It looks like a piece of paper with some shit written on it.
I got notes. Okay. I made notes for every fucking drive of each game.
Okay? We don't got time. We don't got time for that.
I got them right here. I know we don't have time. Okay. I look at these things. And I want to just also show you what I wrote down. This is all real time during the game. I just want to bring up a couple different things, Scotty. Okay. We're going to go over like maybe a thing or two that I mentioned. That's a huge piece of this game. And then in both of the games, I wrote at halftime. What was my question? I had a question at halftime for each of the games. Okay. Well, we get to this game, and all of a sudden, you're going to tell me that KC absolutely shocks everyone. When they win the toss, they give the ball to Lamar. What'd you think of that? Would you have taken the ball as Kansas City, or would you have given the ball to the MVP, best offense in the league, basically Baltimore Ravens?
You're saying, I mean, if I win the toss, I'm if it's KC and Baltimore, I'm deferring. I'm not scared of Lamar.
Okay, so they weren't either, right? Unbelievably bad.
Were you scared of Lamar? Lamar 1-win playoff. Lamar
just thought this
2-win. I guess now
this is where my line of thinking was as far as being the Chiefs. They're the guy, right? They want to impose their will. They're the defending champs. They're underdogs. They're pissed off that they're underdogs. I would have taken the ball and went down and did what they did. I mean, now, granted, they did what they did after 3 plays. of Baltimore going a pathetic 3 and out to start the game. And KC basically just takes it right down the field. Beautiful 4th down conversion by Kelsey on that drive. And then the Kelsey touchdown, which was a beautiful backdoor fade to Kelsey on Kyle Hamilton, who we talked about leading up to that game. But you go and you say, okay, oh shit, look at this. Baltimore looks like shit. Kansas City just goes right down and scores. Kelsey, Mahomes, it's all over again. What does Baltimore do? Bing, bang, boom. They got Lamar wrapped up for a sack. He does a little spin cycle off him, bada bing, throws the ball deep to Zay Flowers. Holy shit, we got a tie ball game.
Yeah.
Okay. So that to me was like
started off looking like a shootout, and then it was like nothing.
Absolutely, right? I think Rashee Rice is going to be a stud. I wrote that down here.
It took this game to figure that out.
Well, I just think that he's going to be a guy in this league. He kind of reminds me a little bit of what CD looked like in college. CD to me looks like a different receiver now with Dallas than he did at Oklahoma, but still. And then I want to talk about the fumble. Okay. I want to talk about the fumble.
Which one?
The big
first one or the second one?
You're right. The big one with Lamar. Okay. You watch this play. Okay. In this play with Lamar, they have a 6-man protection. They leave Likely in to block. Okay. 6 guys. Kansas City only rushes 4. Okay. Lamar Jackson is in the pocket. I calculated. I had to rewind it while the commercial was going on, and I fucking put the timer on the phone. 4.4 seconds by the time he gets a snap to by the time Momenahue fucking rips the ball out of his hands.
Wait. You rewinded it?
Oh, I did.
Oh, just make sure you don't watch any games with Dr. Tomas.
Oh, okay? Dr. Tomas. I don't think that's an issue at this point. Now, at this point, I'm watching and I say, okay, it's 4.4 seconds. Bang. Momenahue, great play. Beats Ronnie Stanley, who they, keep talking about as an all-pro. This guy, 0.1, maybe 0.2, another second. He's got a bomb to OBJ over the middle, wide open. Beautiful play call. I don't know if I would have done it on first down, and then I would have executed it a lot better. Of course, you're blocking 4 guys with 6. You can't do it. So that was a huge play in the game. Because that leads down to, the fact of, here, wait a second. Did Kansas City take over and they actually converted it into points? It's not the first time you're going to hear me say this today, Scotty. Kick the fucking field goal. What are these coaches doing, man? What are they doing? Tell me. Because Andy Reid is on their own, Baltimore's 13-yard line. They just got gifted a fumble. What did he do? Went for 4th down, and what happened? They fucking turned it over on downs. So
instead of KC?
Kansas City. I mean, the fact that they go down there, they turn it over on the 13-yard line of Baltimore because they don't kick the field goal on 4th down.
Yeah, I know. And we talked about that. Like, you get a turnover, you got to take the extra points. I agree with you on that.
Points, especially when you're giving it to. I understand if it's a punt and you have a long drive and you feel good and blah, blah, blah. If you get gifted the fumble right there, just put the points in it.
So this whole speech about a fumble was about KC's fumble?
Oh, you just wait. I'm just getting warmed up. This has no fucking bearing on what I'm about to say when we get to the next game. But
I mean, I agree with you, but there's not much to say. I agree. These teams need to start kicking the ball when they have an opportunity to kick the ball. I mean, when we get to the Detroit game,
oh boy,
should have happened there was 2 times it should have happened.
So my question is, Kansas City finally, Baltimore can't do shit. Kansas City cashes in with 3 by the end of the half or before the end of the half. My question was, could this be set up for a LaMarvelous comeback? Okay. That was my question. Because at that point, I did not think that we were going to see Baltimore with only 7 points in the first half with their first AFC Championship game hosted at home ever in the fucking franchise's history. And you're going to tell me that they're going to go and lay an egg like that with the second-time MVP and the best coach, one of the best coaches in the league to me and John Harbaugh? I just didn't think it was going to happen. I thought they were going to come back. We'll see what we got. What did you think at halftime as far as when you saw that score 17-7? Did you think that there was a chance that Baltimore could come back, or did you think that Kansas City was going to run away with this thing?
Did this Zay Flowers fumble happen in the 3rd or 2nd? What quarter was that happened? Or was that
Zay Flowers quarter? That it was in the 4th quarter.
4th quarter. Okay. I would say at halftime, I thought we still had a ball game. I'll be honest with you. I thought we saw the ball game just because of how Baltimore, just how they've been playing all year. Now, KC dominated the entire game. The entire game they dominated. But I still felt like Baltimore was in it at halftime. I felt like Baltimore was literally in it until that interception thrown by Lamar at the end of the game, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Okay. Now, I don't think that ultimately what I'll say before we, get to the rest of this, I really believe that this was a Baltimore loss than it was a Kansas City win. So we'll get to that here in the second half because Kansas City comes out conservative. They go 3 and out in the second half. Baltimore looks real tight. They don't really score until then the fourth quarter, right? Fourth quarter comes up. Baltimore's got a fucking...
Yeah, I want to comment on that real quick. I noticed until Baltimore scored again, KC looked like they were just trying to run the clock out and get the fuck off the field. They looked like, honestly, they were playing scared, to be honest with you.
Yep.
They did not look like they were trying to put their foot on Baltimore's throat. They looked like they were just trying to run the clock out.
Three drives. 3 drives in the third quarter. 2 3-and-outs, and one where they, I believe, got 1 first down, and I believe threw 3 screens on the drive. 3.
As a betting man who had a bunch of props on the game, I was hoping that Lamar would score or Baltimore would score because I knew that was the only way KC was going to start really throwing the ball around the yard again. That's the way I looked at it. That's how it appeared.
When we get to the end of this game, I'm going to give you my analysis on what I believe why Baltimore lost this game, and I can't even fathom it. But Kansas City kept blitzing Lamar. They didn't have any answers for Kansas City. Unbelievably, I mean, I don't know how they didn't think that they were going to do that.
Can I say something though? Something, sure. And I'm not saying you were wrong, but I don't think Spags, because I know the last show we did, you said I think Spags is going to contain Lamar. I don't think they did that at all. I honestly, this is one of the rare times, and probably because I don't trust Lamar's throwing accuracy that well or decision-making in the pocket, but I think Baltimore could actually win this game if Lamar runs more. There was too many times he had the pocket, guys crashed down on each side of him. He stepped up like you should, and then he tried to throw it, which I respect him on doing that, but dude, you're Lamar Jackson. You need to get this win. You're down. You got to take the game over at this point. There was plenty of times. And then you saw the few times he did run. What did I tell you on Friday's show? Every time he ran, he was getting 20 yards a clip. Yeah. I said he would get 30 yards a clip. He was getting 15, 20 yards a clip. But he only did it a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah. And, Kansas City's defense played well. I believe it was the fact of what Baltimore didn't do. And we're going to get to that. But in the fourth quarter now, still 17-7. You're like, what's going on here? You figure Kansas City would score a little bit in the third quarter, maybe give a little bit, like you said, more foot on the throat of Lamar and the Ravens. Lamar hits a bomb to Zay Flowers. He gets behind the defense somehow. Boom, hits a bomb. Snead tackles him, and Flowers decides to be an asshole. Okay. Flowers throws him in the ground. He spins the ball right next to his helmet, stands up, says, look at my fucking Johnson. And boom, 15-yard flag, right? So now a 57-yard play becomes like a 30-yard play, right?
Yeah, that's just an immature play, man. You cannot have that in a big game like this when you're down. And it was like his third or fourth reception. It wasn't even like he was having a Kelsey day where it was like his 10th, 11th catch. Yeah. Like, dude, put your head down and get back in the huddle because there's still a lot of work to get done here.
Yeah. So credit to him. The next play, or 2, I believe it was, he catches the ball over the middle, and he's taking it to the house. And he's ready to go. He's ready to fucking make amends for what he just did. And what's this guy do? Sorry. Excuse me. He coughs the fucking thing up. Fucking L'Jarius Sneed comes right down the goal line and peanut punches this thing right out of this guy's hands. Perfect timing right before he crosses the goal line. He fumbles it into the end zone. So thank goodness it wasn't in the corner of the end zone. So it goes out of bounds. We got to talk about that shit again.
That was football karma, baby.
What an unbelievable play by Snead. They recovered in the end zone. Touchback, Kansas City. No touchdown. Zay Flowers gets pissed off. He goes over to the bench. He fucking damages his helmet, throws, is beating the shit out of a table, and he lacerates his finger. Just not headsy. It's a rookie kid. I mean, he's going to grow up. We get it. But Kansas City doesn't run the ball. I don't understand what they're doing. They get a touchback. They still are passing almost every fucking play. I don't know what they're doing. And then finally they have to punt, and they fucking execute a punt beautifully down to Baltimore's own 1 yard line. Unbelievable. But then big drive. Lamar's like, all right, I'm going to MVP your ass right now. Drives him down the field, gets him down to around the 30, and he makes one of, Scotty, I mean, I've seen some bad interceptions. I've seen some bad interceptions in the playoffs when it really matters. I mean, shit, I've seen him in the Super Bowl. This may have been one of the worst, if not the worst interception I've ever seen.
And who was it to? Likely? Was that who it was to?
He was trying for Likely, who was literally ensconced in 3 Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I mean, first off, I don't know why Likely put his hand up as if he was open. But secondly, I understand Likely's had a big year for him. I'm not going to take that away from him. But realistically, you got Andrews back. You got Zay Flowers balling. You got OBJ on the team. Bro, Likely should be like the 4th or 5th guy you're looking at this point. Like, big players make big plays. Like, why the fuck are you looking at Likely with 3 guys draped on him and think, oh, yeah, I got this?
It was brutal. I mean, even if he was throwing to Andrews at that point, it's like,
and the problem,
white jerseys.
The problem is on that drive, it was vital that they get at least a field goal. Yep. Like a touchdown would be nice, but they didn't have to get the whole thing.
Points.
They just needed to get 3 points. They get 3 points there. They got plenty of time to go stop KC, which their defense had been doing pretty well. I mean, they held KC to only 17 points. Realistically,
and only in the first half.
Bad.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'll let you finish, and I'll give a couple thoughts.
Well, I'm just saying. So I just want to get to the end of the game, and then we can figure out what the fuck happened here. But it is funny, Scotty, that the old, if you remember, back in I would say the first probably 3 months of the regular season, Kansas City's big fucking bugaboo was they couldn't score in the second half. That was one of their huge things. They couldn't score in the second half.
Still can't score in the second half.
They didn't score a fucking point in the second half in this game. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that when I was watching it. They did not score a point in the second half. So now at the end, I basically say big time for me. I was dead wrong on George Karlaftis. If you go back to our podcast days and when we went into that draft, when he got drafted 2 years ago, I said, he'd be a motor player, maybe a guy who's just, he's a rotational dude. He can make a couple tackles for loss, maybe a sack here or there, but nothing crazy. This fucking guy's insane. I think he's one of the most underrated players on their defense. But they finally get the field goal to be able to get down by 7. So Baltimore makes it a 7-point game. I want to talk about that last drive by the Chiefs. There was a brilliant play on both teams. Okay. So first, I did this one time like 15, 20 years ago when I used to play Madden with my buddies. What did Baltimore do? They jump. It's a penalty on Baltimore. It's 1st and 5 now for Kansas City. It's like right before the 2-minute warning. They only have 2 timeouts. It's pretty easy that you're going to think that Kansas City is going to fucking get 5 yards within the next 3 or 4 plays, right? And then they're going to waste their timeouts, and the game's going to be over. Baltimore on purpose goes offsides to make it 1st and 10. Instead of 1st and 5. And it's actually even more brilliant is the fact that they didn't just go offsides, because then Kansas City can decline the penalty if it was just offsides. They cannot decline a personal foul. Roquan Smith comes up and blows the fucking left guard up out of his stance, and they give him a 15-yard personal foul that now Kansas City can't decline. So now it goes to 1st and 10. They still have their 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Brilliant move. They stop them 2 plays in a row. 3rd down. You think maybe Kansas City's going to be conservative. Now Andy Reid shows his brilliant play. They throw a fucking bomb over the top to MVS, and it ends the game right there. So,
which MVS he's been playing well in the playoffs. He's been dog shit all season, and he's been stepping up in the playoffs. I'll give him credit for that.
I said to myself throughout the whole game, it looks like Kansas City knows that they're supposed to be here, and Baltimore is like, oh shit, we better not blow this. It was such a different feeling between both teams, even though Kansas City didn't score in the second half. I'm going to let you go, Scotty, and then I want to put up some numbers here for the end of this game.
I just want to talk about a couple moments in the game.
Sure.
So first off, Zay Flowers on that fumble.
Oh,
I wish I could talk to the kid, and I get it, it's rough. But he didn't have to go for broke there, bro. He could have got stopped on the 2 yard, even 3 yard line. They would have got in. Baltimore has a great running game. They got Lamar Jackson. They would have got in. They didn't have to. He didn't have to, go for the whole thing. But I know, in the moment, it's hard to like think about that. But I hate that these guys keep reaching this ball out because I feel like we see it more and more. I feel like it's become a thing now where teams are keying on when you stretch the ball out, which I don't know why it took so long to happen. People are going to knock that ball out. And I think, we see that play again, basically, where you fumble in the end zone. It didn't go out of bounds, but it just sucks.
Got to take care of the ball. Got to take care of the ball.
You got to take care of the ball. And you can't do that in these games. Now, I also heard, by the way, which we didn't touch on it. I heard after that play, he went over to the sideline and like threw his helmet and like fucked up his finger. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. I appreciate you listening to me. I did say that.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
Yes, it's okay.
I heard you talk about the.
You're still too busy staring at the picture on the wall. I get it.
No, I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah. I said
so what did they say after that happened? Did that affect him catching balls the rest of the game?
Well, I mean, you got to think. So that was like with 6 minutes left.
Yeah.
So, he had to go over. They had to hurry up because then they also were trying to take care of this thing. It was 3rd down, and then Kansas City had a punt. So,
yeah,
but at the same time, I mean, he's a fucking rookie. It's a young, dumbass move. You have to learn from it. But you're talking about a series of 3 boneheaded plays in a row: the taunting penalty, the fumble, and then coming over and
not his best day of football. But the other 2 things I wanted to touch on. One,
well, hold on a second before you go into that. Let me just give you some credit while we can here. Right there, you remember that? Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, I got that's one of the fucking 15 I got right.
Dead on, balls accurate.
Thank you. So that.
So I end up. I want everyone to know. I ended up taking Kelsey. My brother-in-law talked me into it. I ended up taking Kelsey anytime moment of kickoff. So I scored on that too. But I was dead wrong on assuming Kyle Hamilton would shut down Kelsey because I don't know if Hamilton is just not ready for the moment or if Kelsey's just that fucking good. I want to take a second before I want to go over something else before we get into Kelsey because we got to talk about Kelsey. I don't understand, and I want to kind of tie it into what the Niners have to prepare for. But before we get into that, the other thing I want to say is I don't think like everyone's like I know Niner fans that are actually scared to play KC this week. And it's because of, the dynasty they've kind of built over these last few years. And you got Mahomes, you got Kelsey, you got Andy Reid. I get it. Dude, I think, I don't want to say they got lucky, but the Chiefs played 3 fucking bonehead kind of teams. Miami didn't want to play in the cold. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are both notorious for kind of shit in the bed. And what I mean by that is I don't want to take any credit away from this Chiefs team. It's incredible that they're there. I think Mahomes is fantastic. But do you realize not only did they control basically the entire game, the Chiefs, but they had 2 before the Lamar interception, which basically sealed the game. But before that interception, KC had 2 turnovers and controlled the game. And do you realize they were only up 10 fucking points? At that point, it was 17-7, I believe, before they got that field goal, correct?
Yes.
So it was 17-7. KC dominated the whole game. KC had 2 turnovers, and Lamar's in a position to get either a field goal or a touchdown to be within 1 fucking score. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Now, I don't. Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from KC, but to me, you put Brady in that situation, you put Montana in that situation, you put a lot of, and maybe I shouldn't even say those names. Those teams that they were on, even the Colts, the Peyton Manning-led Colts, that Niners team, even that Steve Young's team, I feel like those teams were such dominant teams that in those situations, they're taking off. This Kansas City Chiefs team, if I'm a Kansas City fan, I'm worried because they should have beat Lamar by 3-4 scores. They barely won the game, and they didn't score in the second half. Isn't that alarming to anybody? Is that alarming to you?
I don't. Yeah, I think think you're talking about Baltimore. I don't think Kansas City had a turnover. Baltimore had 2 turnovers. But
no, Kansas City created 3 turnovers.
You're talking about they created.
They got 3 extra fucking opportunities.
So
before the pick, before the interception.
Yes.
We're talking about an AFC Conference Championship game. You're talking about the greatest quarterback playing in the NFL right now. Yes. Had gotten the ball 2 more times than the other team and had the ball at halftime because they deferred the kickoff.
Yes.
And they're up. If you don't throw a pick there, even let's just say they kick a field goal. Let's say Lamar gets them in field goal range. They kick a field goal. He doesn't throw a pick there. Yep. You're talking it's a 7-point game with 2 turnovers and a 17-7 lead.
Yeah,
is that not alarming to anybody?
Yeah, they had a 10-point lead with forcing 2 turnovers from Baltimore. You're exactly correct. Until then, they forced the 3rd one. You're exactly right. And the
3rd one sealed it, and you can't win it. You can't win
and it didn't really seal it at that point either yet. But I completely you've lobbed up the home run for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you for throwing it right down the middle. You know why? Like this is what I don't know if it really has anything to do with the Niners and Chiefs upcoming Super Bowl. We'll get into that, of course, all over the next 2 weeks and a little bit today. But the Ravens lost this game.
I agree with you.
Not the Kansas City Chiefs won this game. The Baltimore Ravens lost, and I'm going to tell you exactly why.
And before you tell your story, I just want to say that great teams don't lose games. They don't always win games, but they don't lose them. They don't lose them.
Correct. And you could argue that Kansas City did not lose this game, even though they
agreed.
You know, right? You can say that they didn't blow it. But let me get into this then right now, if you don't mind. Why did the Baltimore Ravens lose this game? I don't know. The Ravens, they average 32 carries a game for every single football game previous to the AFC Championship. Who are they playing? The Kansas City Chiefs. How'd they do against the rush this year, Scotty? 18th. Below average.
Yeah, it's not great.
Gus Edwards, the Gus Plus, as they call him. He averaged 0.7 yards carry in this game. I mean, isn't that not fucking phenomenal? Is that an amazing average or what?
That was all year?
No, this was during this game. Okay. You know how many carries Gus Edwards got? Fucking
I don't know.
3. 16 rushes by the Baltimore fucking Ravens. Half, ladies and gentlemen, half of their average of the whole entire fucking season. And guess what? Half of those rushes were by the quarterback. So you're telling me that 8 fucking times, Todd Monken, this offensive genius.
I mean, he's been good all year. You got to give credit where credit's due. He's been good all year. I agree though. He shit the bed in this play call.
He didn't even call 8 running plays for his running backs because 2 of them were by Zay Flowers. 6 running back rushing calls into the huddle.
I agree.
Could you believe that?
No, I can't. And I didn't look at those numbers, but I'm surprised by that.
That's why they lose this game because
I agree. And I think that would have opened up the pass game much more if they ran the ball.
I don't want to do the piece of cake. Fuck Lamar. He choked. He blah, blah, blah. Look at the stats, right? 20 out of 37. 17 missed passes. The most of the weekend. Still, though, 272. 20 completions for 272. He throws a touchdown. 2 should have been touchdowns because Zay Flowers fumbles at the goal line. Okay? Throws the pick at the end. Worst pick I've ever seen. I get it. but he had 54 rushing yards on 8 carries, and he lost that fumble because his all-pro left tackle can't block a fucking third-string D-end, okay? I'm not getting to this fucking narrative of Lamar Jackson choked. Hell no. You're gonna say to me that Lamar Jackson has to carry the whole fucking game on his shoulders, then you could say he choked. But when did he carry the whole game on his shoulders the whole entire year? Almost never. So now you choose the AFC Championship game to run the ball 6 fucking times with the running backs? And Gus Edwards is averaging 6.7 a carry? Give me a fucking break. This game should have been 34-17, Baltimore, piece of cake, with them just sticking to their identity, running the damn football. That's it. So to me,
wait. Did the Ravens win the game?
No.
So then what are we talking about?
We're talking about because they lost the
game. Did he wait. Did Lamar have any turnovers?
Yes. He had one.
So explain to me. He had 2 turnovers.
No, he didn't. He had one huge one, which was the pick. The fumble was not his fault. It's not his fault. They called a first down.
So when you're in a
post with 6 guys to protect, how's that his fault?
Did he drop the ball? In the pocket? Did he drop? Did the ball get knocked out?
Everybody would have dropped the ball there.
So unfortunately, that's his fault.
Sure. The interception was the worst interception I've ever seen, Scotty. Yes.
So we're not allowed to blame Lamar when he had 2 turnovers.
This is like blaming Tyler Bass for the Buffalo Bills loss.
So then we can't blame Dak Prescott then.
Oh no,
Dak Prescott has two turnovers in a game. He doesn't win it. We blame him. Lamar has 2 turnovers in a game. We don't blame him.
In the game against the Packers, it was not Dak Prescott. No, you're right. It was the defense. But I will say that we all know that Dak Prescott can't do it. I'm talking about the MVP of the league here that has his team averages 32 carries a game. And you give him in the AFC Championship against a bottom half team against the rush, half of the carries, and half of those were from his own feet. Come on.
You got a guy who's gonna probably have two MVPs at the end of this year, and his sole 2 wins in the playoffs in the postseason is against the AFC South.
Houston.
And I'm supposed to give him a pass, is what you're telling me.
I'm not telling you to give him a pass. I'm talking about this game is not all on Lamar Jackson.
He made some pretty bad decisions, dude.
He did. No, now I'm saying the interception was, like I said, brutal. Most brutal interception I've ever seen. The fumble, you can't have it as a 6-man protection on first down, play action, post pass. It's wide open. He made the right read. I saw it. He's looking right at. He's throwing it to Beckham. It would have been a touchdown. It would have been a 70-yard touchdown. Your all-pro tackle can't get beat by a third-string defensive end. You can't. You absolutely can't. Especially when you have 2 extra fucking guys. There's just no way, right? So that's that. And the fumble, and again, he throws 2 touchdowns. If Flowers fucking either goes over the goal line or he probably rushes for a touchdown and hits my fucking Quattro fucking parlay because they'd be on the goal line. So,
I know, that did kill both of us on that.
Unbelievable. So, but I'm just telling you, it's like a boxer, right? Like imagine Mike Tyson in his fucking heyday, and he's going into the fucking ring, and he's going up against, fucking Lennox Lewis or Evander Holyfield, somebody. And all of a sudden he's just going to he's going to be the next Floyd Mayweather. Fucking couple jabs and fucking back out. That's not him. Baltimore all year was pounding people.
But you know what else is not him? He usually runs when he's in trouble.
He ran for 8 for 54.
He only ran 8 times, though. He could have ran a whole hell of a lot more.
Because why? Because they called 37 fucking pass plays for the guy. 37.
Yeah,
37.
But you know that. Do you know? Okay, so you're telling me
he was never down more than 10 ever.
You're telling me he couldn't talk to the head coach. He couldn't talk to the offensive coordinator and say he wants to run the ball more.
Honestly, I think because it's him, I think he probably just thinks that it's going to be fine. We're gonna be fine. It's I'm the MVP. I feel like I got my guys. Andrews didn't play a lot in that second half, so he must. They
didn't really look at Andrews a lot the whole game.
No,
so I was wrong on that. Maybe he's still banged up. He's no Sam Laporta. I compared him to Sam Laporta. When Sam Laporta came out, I couldn't tell he was hurt. Mark Andrews goes out there. I'm like, I don't know. He probably shouldn't have came back.
Well, yeah, Mark Andrews broke his fucking leg. Laporta extended his knee a little bit. Mark Andrews broke his leg, and he's back in 10 weeks.
Well, what I think it was was it his leg or forearm?
Broke his leg. So, so the fact is that, maybe he was hurt, whatever, fine. But as an offensive coordinator, especially a guy who's won 2 national titles with fucking Georgia back-to-back and coming in and making Lamar the MVP, I would understand, Scotty, if that number right there is not 32. If that number's 24, 22, whatever, fine. 16 rushes, no big deal. They cut their rushing in half. And 6 of them were by running backs. That's not.
I agree. They should have ran more. I agree. The play calling it was atrocious at times. But I am not gonna jump on your boat here of letting Lamar off the hook. I'm not doing it.
I'm not letting him off the hook. I'm just telling you this was not a. I guarantee you people are saying he choked. It's all on him. This is the whole. He's the MVP during the season. And
it's a team game. It's a team game. There's a lot more to it,
right? So, give me your parting thoughts on this game, and then we'll get to the NFC Championship.
Well, I got to bring up Kelsey. So I said I was going to do my research. I didn't do any research. I had dinner and relaxed instead. So I felt like that was a better choice. But we need to figure this out. So this is going to be my assumption. So so Baltimore plays zone defense. Correct? Am I correct in saying that? Or is it more of like, I know they're all hybrids now, but what's their base? Is it more zone or more man?
I think McDonald plays a lot of man. I think he does.
Because I feel like Kelsey's like the zone killer. But like,
yeah, absolutely.
If I feel like
Hamilton you
have to play man on him. So what did Hamilton just not show up? Because
so what they did was they fucking ran, which was pretty brilliant, but they always had it was for the most part from what I saw, except the touchdown. I mean, the touchdown was just a perfect. There was nothing Hamilton could have done on that touchdown. Nothing.
No, I get it.
Perfect.
But there was a lot of other plays where he was either wide open or just like no one within sight.
Because he was never on his own, right? So if Kelsey's here, he was never like they weren't lining up like this. There was always someone next to him, and they always had something, whether it's a cross, another guy crossed over, or Kelsey's going to the outside and the other guy's going straight up trying to pick Hamilton. They always had somebody playing a rub on Hamilton for Kelsey. That's how he got 11 catches on 11 targets, right? So, but
it just felt like they were playing. It felt like he was getting him caught in zone. But
it wasn't like remember how I always talk about the bullshit with Kelsey? It's like, how doesn't anybody number one get a hand on him on the line?
I think part of it is because he's such a great off-script runner. He sits right in between zones where either guys have miscommunication or it's the part of the zone, because the zones are designed to be there for certain routes. This guy's not running a fucking route. He's literally just sitting. He's playing backyard ball. Now, the reason why it doesn't work in most other teams is because most quarterbacks can't play that way. Most times, if they don't know where you're going,
and the coaches
or an option on where they're going, and the coaches don't allow it, correct. Yeah. For whatever reason, him and Mahomes have this crazy off-script connection. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And I assumed, and I watched the game, but I was trying to figure out if they were playing zone or man. It felt like he was getting him caught in zone, but then I did see Hamilton follow him here and there. So I don't know. I don't know how you're going to beat Kelsey, and we have to talk about that in the upcoming week. But they got to put somebody on him.
You can't, because again of the leeway I think Andy Reid gives them for them to do. And also Romo had this with Witten. There's just a fucking connection between.
Yeah, I agree.
And they know exactly what they're doing, right? So anytime, like if Mahomes is running like this, and if he fucking sticks his tongue out, then Kelsey knows, I'm going to the corner or whatever. They already know that, and Reid gives them carte blanche to fucking do that. So I mean, you're not going to stop them. The only way to do it is the way that Baltimore actually did.
Saucy stopped him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to lock him up with somebody, and Hamilton's a perfect guy to do it with. But like I said, they had a good plan on how to rub off a little bit. Hamilton covered him perfectly on the touchdown. He just couldn't do anything.
To be honest with you saying that, maybe it was just the rookie in him, man. Maybe it's just he wasn't ready for like the moment.
A little bit. But at the same time, Mahomes and Kelsey have done this shit, bro. He broke Jerry Rice's record for Hamilton catches.
Hamilton's not a rookie though, right? It's his second year, third year.
No, this is he's
second year, I think. Branch was the rookie top safety this year. So Hamilton, I think, was last year.
Oh, wait a second. Hamilton, who did the Ravens draft this year then? Was it Linderbaum?
No, he's been on the team. I'll look it up for you real quick.
No, I think
was it Hamilton?
I think Hamilton's a rookie. I think this is his first year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. He's a rookie. It's his first year this year. It could have been, but like I said, he was on him pretty good.
No, first round was Zay Flowers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, what the fuck are we thinking? Duh.
Yeah, Hamilton was last year.
It's the second year. Yeah, Linderbaum was.
I think the same draft.
Yes, they just took two of them. Yeah. So honestly, Kelsey, you're not going to stop him. He's already fucking motivated with Taylor Swift. He knows that it's probably his last year. That's it. I mean, I'm
not buying that last year's.
You're not stopping him in a Super Bowl. Okay, we'll get to that all, of course, the next couple of weeks. But
that's all. That's all I got, though. I can't believe my takeaway is I just can't believe how in reach that game was, given how KC dominated and the fact that they had 2 turnovers with whatever it was 8 minutes left on the clock. So
yeah.
So to me, I agree with you. Baltimore blew the game. I don't think KC won it.
Nah, especially without scoring a point in the second half. I mean, it's pretty fucking crazy. But I just don't know how you get to the AFC Championship with all on the line, home game for the first time ever, and you change your identity. I don't get it. I don't know how that was the game plan. I can understand if Kansas City gave up 80 yards a fucking game rushing and they were like these fucking vaunted juggernauts. Bro, they're bottom half of the league in rushing. It just doesn't make any sense.
You know who didn't change their identity?
Oh boy, who didn't?
Your boy Dan Campbell.
Oh,
he kept at it with his 4th down conversions.
Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna get to the NFC Championship, I'm guessing at this point. Okay. I'm going to bring out my notes for this one, too. Okay.
Took a lot of notes, huh?
I did my job. I like this stuff, and, I figured I'd be a professional. First quarter, as we knew, Detroit goes up 7-0 in a fucking heartbeat. Okay. 4 plays. I wrote Ben Johnson, ! They give the ball to Jamison Williams on a reverse that literally fucking juked Nick Bosa out of his jock. Okay. And Jamison Williams took it all the way.
Can I stop you real quick? Because this really fucked up all my betting. Not all of it, but it was a big part of the problem. How does jerk off Jamison Williams not do basically jack shit all year and then just show up in the biggest game of the year? Now I get it, baller's ball, but
that's good.
All this it was almost like he stepped up and Amos stepped back.
I don't know where the fuck Amon-Ra St. Brown was. I mean, seriously, especially in the second
dropping
half.
Balls and shit. I couldn't believe it.
But Jamison Williams, that was a bright spot. And then I get to San Fran on their first drive. I said, it's too much Purdy so far. Where's CMC? Hutchinson is a fucking monster, and he's going to continue to be a fucking monster. But they get down to field goal range. And an issue that we had talked about on a previous show, when you have a rookie kicker, it's just you never know what you're going to get. And I'll get to Forrest Gump also a little bit later. But Jake Moody misses a field goal to start off the game, and you're now saying, oh, boy, is the upset coming? Because then once Detroit gets the ball, they keep fucking dominating the line of scrimmage, and Monty takes one in from the goal line and puts Detroit up 14-0.
Can we remember when a kicker was taken in like the top 3 rounds that it's panned out? And I'm not saying Moody's a complete bust yet or anything like that, but like feels like anytime these kickers are taken in the top like 3 rounds, because Moody was taken in the 3rd round, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Anytime a kicker's taken in the 3rd round, it's like a nightmare situation. And maybe I'm just scarred from the Mike Nugent days. But I don't think Tucker was. I think Tucker was taken late, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, no, he wasn't. Nope.
I think all these like stars were like in the 5th, 6th round or weren't even drafted. It's like, why are we drafting kickers?
Yeah, I agree. Now, I think if you want to go get your hands on, one of these stud punters, I think that could potentially work. But I'm not taking them in
Not in the third round, but
Oh,
I agree. Maybe a 5th or 6th round punter if you get like
that's a weapon. That's a weapon, that can flip field position. But these kickers, man, there's too much going on in between the years for me to draft them high. I agree with you. Second quarter, you're thinking, when's San Fran going to wake up? They finally do with a drive that's all CMC and Kyle Juszczyk, who was huge in this fucking game. And CMC puts it in the end zone to make it 14-7. But then they Detroit kind of stalls out, and San Fran gets the ball back again, but they just keep getting dominated by the Detroit defensive line. And this is when Purdy throws the interception. And when
real quick, your thoughts on that? Yeah, did you think that was? I mean, I don't think it's really his fault, but did you blame Purdy for that?
Well, I mean, he got smashed. Coming in, the defense tackle coming in, whacked him. I think it was Kaminsky. Whacked him, and Rodriguez is sitting right there, and it comes right into his fucking lap. That's the problem we've talked about that you're going to run into with Purdy is if he's got a clean pocket, cool. If he doesn't, he's in trouble because he can't see, So that's exactly what happened. He tried to force one over the top, couldn't see Rodriguez was sitting right there, and there you go. So I'm looking at that. I said, holy shit.
Can I say something though?
Right here.
Can I say something though too about Purdy? And I know we'll get into more of him at the end of this thing.
Yep.
But I do think a difference between Purdy and let's say a Lamar or Purdy and a Josh Allen is when Purdy throws picks or when Purdy has a bad day. And I don't think he had a bad game at all yesterday, but when he played bad 3 quarters of the Packers game, maybe 3.5 quarters. Even though he throws bad balls sometimes, and even though he'll throw picks, it's usually his picks are usually coming from being a bad at like him being hit, and his bad play usually comes from him throwing bad balls. But what I don't see is bad decision making. Like I'll see him pick the right guy and then overthrow him, or I'll see him pick the right guy and throw behind him when he's playing bad, like he did in Green Bay. What I don't see him do is what Lamar Jackson did. You got a guy open over here, you got a guy open here, but I'm going to throw the guy with 3 people on him.
Sure. Yeah.
So I will say I do like the fact that his decision-making always seems to be on point. Yeah. He just needs to settle his nerves and make sure he's got a clean pocket, like you said, and he's delivering the ball properly.
Yeah. And he's not concussed like we learned that he was in the Minnesota game. But they don't stop him at all. And Detroit fucking dominates on the offensive line again. And Jahmyr Gibbs gets in the end zone to make it 21-7. By the time that I didn't think Purdy had a good first half at all, actually. Once he got the ball back, he was, his balls just seemed like they were just a bit outside.
I didn't think he played bad. I thought I didn't think he played as bad as Green Bay. I thought he could have been better.
But it wasn't a good first
half. But I
half.
think he was under duress a little bit.
Wasn't a good first half, and then it was unreal. The 49ers could not get the Detroit Lions off the field on their last drive before the end of the half. They lost conversions of 3rd and 12, 3rd and 18, and 3rd and 6, leading to finally Dan Campbell making the right decision at the end of the first half to kick the field goal and go up 24-7, 17-point lead going into the half. The question I asked myself, and I said, will San Francisco please ride CMC and Debo? With multiple question marks.
Yeah, you fucked up my whole betting thing because you put in the universe that CMC was going to get 3 tutties, and he basically did. Elijah Mitchell only came in because he hurt his neck.
I know. So what does San Francisco do when they get the ball in the third quarter? The first 4 plays, CMC and Debo touch the ball. Purdy looked a little off still, but they kick a field goal. They go down 24-10. Okay. Here we go. Danny boy. I know you like the kneecaps, right? I know you like the kneecaps. I know you love the Lions and the Siegfried and Roy. I get it, brother. Okay. You led Detroit, the Detroit stinking Lions, to their first NFC Championship game in over 30 years. You're the first coach in like 70 fucking years for the Detroit Lions to win 2 playoff games. Okay. And if you weren't such a fucking jackass, you'd be going to the Super Bowl right now, Danny. You're up 14. Okay.
Hey, what I tell you, great teams don't lose games.
Thank you. Great coaches don't lose games for their team either.
Oh, wait, you calling Kyle Shanahan a great coach?
We're going to get into Dan Campbell plenty by the end of this game. But at this point in the game, you're up 14. Stuffing it down their throats still. You decide, you know what? We just saw Jake Moody finally put a ball through the uprights. Okay. To now make our lead only 14 instead of excuse me, to make our lead 14 instead of 17. We just ate up about 4.5 minutes on this fucking drive. We got a 4th down on I believe it was the 29-yard line, 28-yard line, something like that. You know what? Instead of just erasing all the hard work you just did, San Fran, to put that 3 on the board, and we'll just take it right back. It's okay. It's 4th and 3. We're going to go for it because we're ballsy. We love kneecaps. That's our diet right now. It's just fucking kneecaps, patellas, and fucking ACLs and MCLs and PCLs. Okay, that's what I fucking eat. They go for it, fucking throw it to Josh Reynolds, your boy, and he fucking drops it on 4th down. Now that gives San Fran the ball. Okay. Now,
by the way, I had Josh Reynolds over 2.5.
2.5.
He got thrown the ball 3 times. 2 in his chest dropped, 1 caught.
I want you to just I want you to retort with me a little bit for what I'm about to say. Just make me feel like maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, that's easy to do.
If you go for the 4th down, Scotty, let's just say like they did. 4th and 3 at the 28, say. And if you convert,
yes.
does that guarantee you score a touchdown?
It definitely increases the odds of a touchdown, I'll tell you that.
I would agree with you on that. Okay. Let me ask you this question. You go for it on 4th and 3 on the 28. What happens if, say, I don't know, you get down to like the 10-yard line? Now the down and distance turns into 1st and goal. Let's just say you can only gain 2 yards in 3 plays. What do you do on 4th and goal from the 8, Scotty? You've already gone for it on 4th and 3 from the 28. What would you do from 4th and goal?
I get what you're saying, but I don't know why maybe you're not shocked by this, but this is the same guy that went for the 2-point conversion in the Dallas game like 5 times in a row.
And you don't learn?
I'm telling you, if he went down to 4th and goal, if he converted that 4th down and then it went 4th and goal, he's going for it again.
See, and you can't, but because you have to.
I wouldn't have gone
through a red light. You're rushing to get somewhere, and you go through a red light, right? But yet you stop at the next one. Why? Right? You've already fucking broken the law. Now just take it all the way. So if you're gonna go, if you're going to go for it and not kick the field goal, then you're going all the way with it, right? But tell me this. If then they went for it on 4th and goal from the 8 and didn't get it, and now the game is still only a 2-score, 14-point game. Even if you scored the touchdown, what does it turn into? A 3-possession game. I know it's 21, better than 17, sure. But there's still 3-possession games. You're not gaining anything.
I agree with you. There's no way you don't kick a field goal there.
Fucking stupid.
I think circumstances matter. So let me break this down for you. If it's reversed, what was the score at that time? 24-7?
24-10.
24-10. I think if it's the other way, I think if it's 24-10 Niners, then I'm okay with Dan Campbell going for it because you got to get that juice and you got to make up ground. Yeah. I agree with that. When you're up 24-10, you just need a 17-point game.
Fuck.
I agree with you 100%.
How hard is it? How hard is it, right? So then, but then, like, this is what also you got to think about. This ain't the regular season anymore, Danny. It's the playoff. It's the fucking championship game. Like the soup, the chip, if you will, is waiting for you. Nah, let's just keep going for it. Let's keep fucking around, right? And then because it's the playoffs,
that's just who this guy is, man. I knew this was gonna catch up to him sooner or later.
Mojo is huge. Okay, what happens on the next drive? Kendall Vildor, the cornerback for the Lions, who used to play for the Bears, who's awful. No idea how he's still on the field. He pulled a Canseco. Did you see it? He fucking goes down and he's about to play the ball.
He shoot up on the sideline.
He should have. He should have. The ball hits him in the fucking head, and it pops off into Ayuk's hands. Remember Canseco when the ball hit off his fucking head and goes over?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And then a couple plays later, Ayuk gets a touchdown. Now they're only down 7. You go from having 17-point lead to now a 7-point lead, and now the ball just bounced over your fucking moron cornerback's head.
What was your thoughts on that play, by the way?
Oh my God! I mean,
because I had a lot of people tell me that this is the Niners just being lucky. Brock Purdy sucks. He shouldn't have got that play. That was like a Giants. Tyree, whatever his name is. I forget the guy's name.
Tyree, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, David Tyree. That's his name. I know it was Tyree something.
Yep.
Some people just told me, oh my God, Ayuk is incredible. They got to pay this guy, which I heard they're in contract negotiations already.
He's the man. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he is. And from all accounts, from what I've heard, he's a very good teammate too. Like he's
one of the best route runners I've ever seen. He's one of the best route runners I've ever seen. I mean, he's incredible.
You call him a number one receiver?
Absolutely. Yeah,
I think he had 1,600 yards this year, 1,500.
Bro, he had. It's not that much, but he is because of the team he's on. If he was targeted as much as a,
I think he had like over 1,200 yards though.
We'll talk about. Yes, he did, but I'm saying he could have had a 1,600-yard season if he's the number one.
If there's not like 5 other weapons on the team.
Absolutely. But we and I'll go into him in the offseason because he's one of the guys who I really love.
1342 on the season.
1342.
It's pretty incredible.
Fuck. Yeah, he's a stud. But no, it wasn't luck or whatever. It was a dumbass play by Detroit, and it's the momentum. Momentum's real. And the mojo was in San Fran's favor because Detroit fucked it up. And
now was that okay, go ahead.
Then the next play, Scotty. So Ayuk scores a touchdown, right? They're down now only 7.
This is where shit flips.
First fucking play of Detroit's next series. Either Goff or Jahmyr Gibbs goes the wrong way on a running play.
Yeah, you could tell something's off with that handoff.
Something was shot with the handoff.
I don't know if it was Goff turned the wrong way or Gibbs went the wrong way, but honestly, at that point, it's like it just didn't look good.
And boom, ball's on the ground. Eric Armstead's all over it, and immediately the San Francisco 49ers are in cashing zone to score and tie this fucking game up when Detroit seemingly had a 17-point lead, which seemed like a fucking eternity ago at this point by the way that they're playing. So,
which by the way, this turns into becoming the largest NFC Championship comeback in history.
Yeah. And Detroit let it happen. And I'm telling you, this was another game where you could say Detroit lost and San Francisco really didn't win this thing. Detroit gave this fucking thing away.
You could say that. Yeah.
So,
okay, real quick, though, the difference for me, and I'll let you finish what you're going on, but I just want to get this thought out. The difference for me between this and the Chiefs game, the Chiefs dominated. The Chiefs had a historic Kelsey day. The Chiefs played well on defense, and it looked like they didn't win it. The Niners looked asleep for 2.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And they didn't. I agree with you. I think it was more about them not losing it than winning it. But to me, that's different. When one's having a historic day and dominating and they barely win, and then the other one doesn't show up for half the game and they barely win. Like that's two different sides.
Oh, they were definitely two different looking games, but it was the same thought. It's just Detroit should have been in the Super Bowl. It should have been Detroit and Baltimore.
I agree.
That these teams played, right? So,
which would have been an insane fan base.
I know
on both sides.
I know.
Just
having Detroit and the Ravens. I mean, yeah, I know. I'm with you. But the fact that when Purdy makes the switch in the second half, it's really because of his feet. Once he starts running with the football, now everything opens up, right? They couldn't stop CMC in the second half. CMC goes in and scores. Now the game is tied at 24, okay? After the fucking end of the first half, it was 24-7 Detroit, okay? Now we get into the fourth quarter. Detroit, another momentum thing. Detroit has to punt. They have 2 guys down on the punt, and they're going to down it right at the 1-yard line. Okay. They fucked it up. And you just knew, like at that point, like when they even like that, they look like, I don't know. Like they fucked it up. They're going
the moment.
down.
I think it felt like the moment was a little too big.
Too big. It was too big. Dan Campbell got his ass like too tight.
Honestly, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the only guy I felt, I mean, Hutch had a great game, but I think the only guy that seemed cool, calm, and collective the entire game was Jared Goff. And it's surprising that that's the guy.
Right.
Because even the plays that they didn't convert, he made the right decision. He threw a nice ball.
You're right.
The whole game, he didn't have any turnovers like I thought he would.
Yeah.
He looked cool, like he was ready for that.
Numbers. Look at
and I get it. He's been there before. He was ready for that moment.
He was the only, 16 incompletions, but 273,
yards,
1 touchdown, no turnovers, a 60 QBR, which is fine.
Fucking rush yards.
Bro, he had no
0.
The under. Oh my god,
bro! Gibbs could have bumped into him and got him the rush yards. They didn't get shit.
I can't believe it, Scotty. I mean, they didn't have any opportunities to do quarterback.
It was not my weekend.
No opportunities to do a scramble. I mean, nothing. It was crazy. He didn't even have negative yards, Scotty. He had nothing. I was like, I couldn't believe I was watching that the whole game. But so now, okay. So finally, you get to the fourth quarter, and Purdy just he just keeps running. Like Purdy was just Forrest Gumping it all the way, in the second.
Hey,
half.
I respect it though. Like he's not a runner, but like he was sneaky fast, dude. He was getting the decent yards. I mean, what do you have, like 43 rushing yards or something like that?
He has 48 rush yards. So his line here was 20 for 31. He had 267 touchdown in that pick, 88 QBR, which is fucking fantastic, and 48 rushing yards.
Well, 20 for 31 is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, so but he took 2 big sacks in a row on that drive. They had to kick a field goal.
I agree. Yeah.
Moody hits it right. So finally, he hits one. Now they're in the lead, 27-24. I want to say Ambry Thomas is the weak link of this 49ers team. He's one of the worst corners I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he almost blew it. Multiple times in this game.
You blew it.
You blew it. But you know who else blew it? Fucking Dan Campbell. This is number 2. Okay. This guy is
this one. I think that you're going to talk about is a little different. I have a different thought on, but go ahead.
You got to kick the field goal to tie the game, right?
Yeah.
So they go for it again. Okay. And this is even further. This is, I believe, at the 30-31 yard line. Okay. They go for it again. And again, it's like, let's just imagine. Okay. Badgley, who used to be called the Money Badger, would kick this field goal.
Who called
the ball game?
Who called them the Money Badger? I need to meet these people.
He trademarked it coming out of Miami.
So he called himself the Money Badger?
Yes. Yeah, and he was a hot commodity. He was great at Miami in college, and then he just shit the bed in the pro.
I'm happy he's out of the playoffs now.
This is like his 7th fucking team.
Jeez.
But again, they kicked the field goal. They would have tied the game at 27. This touchdown at the end of the game, they score, would have sent them into OT. Okay, so like that's the shit. Take the points. And guess what? Even if they scored a touchdown at the end, just like they did, blah, 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 they kick the other field goal, they win the game by 3. So that's why you got to take the points, right?
I agree with you. I thought you were going to talk about the end, the last drive. So I agree with you. Both fourth downs, you kick the field goal. I mean, you win the game.
Unreal. So the games, they're going to the chip if they fucking kick field goals. And I know that's like,
I agree with you.
Yep. No, that's football. It's how football works. Take the points, especially in the playoffs. Okay. But they left it when they turned the ball over. They let San Fran now go down the field. Purdy's looking clutch. CMC's looking great. And then did you see that play? CMC looked like he broke his fucking neck. I thought he broke his neck on the sideline. He runs out. He's about to do a flip over. He's trying to flip over himself, but he can't. The helmet catches the grass, and it looks like he fucking broke his neck. I was like, holy shit. So they bring Eli Mitchell in, of course, for the one play, and they vulture CMC's third touchdown in the game. They go up 34-24. Okay. Now Detroit goes right down the field. And now, granted, I hate the timeout that they wasted. They ran the ball on 3rd and goal, which with 3 timeouts, which they really needed at the end of the game.
I know, insane. I don't know why they did that.
Timeout, stupid, but they score. Jamison Williams on 4th down catches the back of the ball. Again. I mean, you couldn't even, like, he caught it with fingertips, and it was the back of the ball. This kid's going to be a stud if he can stay healthy. He proved it this game.
No, the problem is the kid's a jerk off. I've seen a bunch of interviews on him. He was the one that got caught with the gambling. Yeah. I just don't know if he's going to last. I think he's going to be, I don't want to say Antonio Brown or anything, but he's going to be like, I don't know.
Antonio Randy Moss maybe in the beginning. He's got it like the fact
kind of, yeah, like a Randy Moss.
We knew when he was coming out of college he was going to be electric. Okay. And then now it's if he can stay healthy, that's the biggest thing. But here's the thing now, Scotty. I'm going to bring up one thing, and that was the ball game. Of course, they couldn't get the onside kick, and San Francisco wins this game.
Well, question on that last drive. Are you one of the people that think they should have kicked the ball on 1st down?
What are you talking about?
So on the last drive, you're down 10. You got to get a touchdown. You got to get a touchdown and a field goal to tie it. So either way, you're going to have. So either way, you're going to have to take an onside kick. So if you kick the field goal right away, you might have a chance, even if you don't kick the onside kick, or if you do, you might have a chance to stop them with at least 20 seconds left.
I agree with you. It's situational. So if you're 30 yards away, kick the field goal. If you're 20 yards away,
they were 48 yards away, and I think that's why they didn't do it, because if you look it up, Badgley's like 55% or something between 45 and 50, which is not a great statistics.
Yeah. I'm saying yard line. Like if you're close, you got to go for the end zone. If you're further away, you got to kick the field goal. I know he wasn't good.
They were further away. But I think part of the problem was they were worried about his kicking accuracy.
They were driving though. They were driving, and I think at that point, especially once you get close, you got to go. You got to get to the end zone, right? Because if you then waste more time, like let's just say you punted, right? Or I mean, you kicked the field goal, kicked off, right? Now you're down 7. Well, I know you have 3 timeouts, but if you say each play takes 5, 6, 7 seconds, and then they got to punt, right? Now you got to drive the whole field with no timeouts to get a touchdown. I don't like that, right? So go get the touchdown. But I was going to say, how fucking silly would it be? Like, this is what I think he should do. This is what I wrote down here. Hey, Campbell, why don't you go for fucking 2? Then you could have won with a field goal after the onside kick, you jackass. Think about it. You know what I mean? It's like, when does it stop?
Hey, Campbell.
Yeah, when
you writing him a letter?
I am. Okay.
Hey, Campbell.
And I got another letter for these assholes using one phrase too in a second. But I don't understand when the aggressiveness stops, because again, you could think of it like that too. Let's just say like that I mean 34-30. Jamison Williams just catches the touchdowns. 34-30. You either kick the extra point to go down 3, knowing that you have 2 timeouts and a minute and so left, you got to get an onside kick. So 2 timeouts, you can do whatever you want. If you go for 2 and you get the onside kick, get the onside kick. Now that field goal is to win. So like you can even make that argument too, which is still fucking asinine. But I'm just saying,
I thought you were making that. I was like, you're out of your fucking.
You can't. I'm just saying, people will. People will say, well, wait a second. Well, if we kick the extra point, but then we get the onside kick, the field goal would only tie it. What if we got the 2-point conversion and we got the onside kick?
All they had to do was kick one of those field goals, and if they kick both of them, they probably win. But even if you just kick one of them,
you go to overtime.
You go to OT.
I'm with you. Got a shot. You got to get the fucking points. Now, please, Scotty, just explain to me this phrase, because we've heard it too many times over the past couple months here. I think this year it's like really come out. I saw an article right after the game was over. We have to give Brock Purdy his flowers.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Out of here with this.
Wait. Let me ask you this real quick. What is your thoughts on Brock Purdy? Are you going to give him credit for what he's done, or are you one of those people that's like, I don't know yet?
No. First of all, the phrase has got to go. Okay, we're talking about football.
I don't know why you hate the phrase so much.
We're talking about men.
It's not a bad phrase.
No,
it's
but
a popular phrase.
Not for football. Like we're talking about men. We're talking about dudes who go out to kill each other on the field. You want to give them flowers now? Come on, pick another fucking phrase. But here's the thing about Purdy, Scotty. I am not going to anoint him the next Brady, but I'm also not going to do what everybody else does and say he's a system guy, right? It's just not. He's proven more. But the thing is, Scotty, is it's like these questions now that I got to imagine that are being said all over the place now. Like, is this Purdy? Like, does this prove anything more to you to Purdy, or is Purdy for real now, or blah blah blah?
That's the question I'm going to ask. He just got him to the Super Bowl.
What if he goes?
That should be a question.
In the Super Bowl, like
I would say
the same thing again. Think about it. I mean, if he shits the bed in the Super Bowl, everyone's asking the same thing again. Are we wrong about Purdy? Is he just the 7th round pick we all thought? Blah, 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 blah. It still doesn't matter. I mean, for anybody. I mean, look at the shit Lamar's taken. Lamar has crushed it.
Lamar's never done it.
19 games.
Lamar's never done it.
He shits the bed in one game in the playoffs, and now everyone's saying he's a fucking phony.
One game. Go look at his career, dude.
Two games.
No, dude. He's 2-4. Every single game he's lost, he's not played well in.
He's not. But I'm saying the 2 years he was the MVP. The 2 years he was the MVP, he lost when he shouldn't have, right? So you can say 2 games, fine. But Purdy, it's
more than 2 games. It's been 4 games that Lamar looked like shit.
You need more than Purdy now, man. You need it. Even if he wins the Super Bowl, he's not Brady. Even if he loses the Super Bowl and he shits the bed, he's still not Mr. Irrelevant.
If he did what he did this year for the next 6-7 years,
Absolutely.
Guess what?
I don't even need 6 or 7 years. But it's not like this.
I'm talking. You want to talk about Brady? No one's bringing up Brady. You're bringing up Brady. No one's talking Brady.
No, everybody's talking Brady.
No.
This guy came from nowhere.
No. You're not. No one's comparing him to Brady right now. The only thing is, no one's giving this kid respect at all. They're saying he's a system quarterback. They're saying he's not even good.
I don't understand that.
He led the league in all passing statistical categories this year.
I don't understand that. I mean, we've seen now throughout this season.
Oh, it's his second season, and he didn't play It's his second season. He didn't play the whole first
season. Yeah, it's not a second season. This is his first full season.
Agreed.
The first season, so it's still too early because again, you can't shit on him.
But
if he loses the Super Bowl, and you can't anoint him if he wins the Super Bowl.
I agree, but don't you think he deserves at least some credit?
Absolutely.
How many quarterbacks can you name in their first 2 years go to an NFC Championship game?
Here's the thing, Scotty. This is, and you know, like I said, it's I'm not on either fence as far as that strongly about it. I have to see a little more, but the thing he's got to worry about is if he doesn't get it done in the Super Bowl, does he become Jimmy G Jr.? That's the thing, because
Jimmy G's never done
good Jimmy G that was that season.
Jimmy G's never had the numbers that this kid's had already.
I know, but did Jimmy G have the same? Did he have the same amount of weapons? He did not. So just imagine
what
Jimmy G.
I mean, he's got the only thing he's got
his prime.
The only thing he's got that Jimmy didn't have was McCaffrey. You could argue Ayuk was young, I guess.
Yeah.
He also had Emmanuel Sanders.
He was a rookie.
Who's still playing well.
I'll take CMC and Ayuk as a seasoned pro than Ayuk as a rookie and no CMC. Absolutely not. No.
I'm just saying.
Purdy's got way more of a team than Jimmy G did, and Jimmy G had a hell of a year that year. And Jimmy G fucking choked in the Super Bowl, and then that's how he got his whole he's just a fucking system guy or whatever. That's what Purdy's got to worry about.
Do you think it's fair that everyone's bringing up his draft spot?
No,
for Purdy?
It's fucking stupid. Why? Okay, so Brady's garbage because he was drafted in the 6th round. No, it's what that proves to me is it proves that all these other teams in the league were saying, he's too small, or I
don't think
whatever.
I think the public needs to realize you cannot go out and claim that all these guys don't know what the hell they're doing. Every I know the Jets, I know the Browns, I know the Lions, I know a lot of these teams that can't draft a quarterback. Their fan base says our GMs suck. These GMs in the league are terrible. I'm better than these GMs. All these GMs suck. You might be right, but you can't say that and then say, well, how did Purdy get drafted, Mr. Irrelevant? and he's not that good because he's Mr. Relevant. How are you going to say the GMs are terrible, but at the same time not understand how this guy slipped through everyone's fucking fingers? It fits the narrative. It's true.
What are you saying that I'm saying? What are you saying that I'm saying that I think you're saying that I'm saying?
All right, stick with me here. Do you or do you not agree that a lot of people say that the GMs in this league don't know shit?
I think people are now pointing a finger at the scouting departments, yes.
But a lot of people for years have complained about their team's GM. That's usually, besides head coach, that's the number one thing everyone's ready to get rid of.
Sure.
A lot of people complain about GM because you can't draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
For years, everyone says, how did you do this? How did you miss on Patrick Mahomes? How do you miss on Dan Marino? How do you miss on Aaron Rodgers? Correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we can't paint that narrative and then say, how does this guy end up as Mr. Relevant? It's the same. It's what it's been. It shouldn't be shocking that this guy got missed.
I guess okay, so I guess, all right, so here's the argument I'd say to that. Why did San Francisco pass on him 6 times? Is I think then the argument I'd say, right? So if I understand value,
it's the same thing. A lot of teams pass on people the time.
Yeah.
Why did Seattle pass on Russell Wilson 4 times before they picked him?
Here's
what I mean? It happens all the time.
There's 32 teams, right? I don't think everybody's saying everybody has a shitty scouting department. I don't think everybody's saying every GM sucks and every team doesn't know how to pick players. If this guy was the last pick of the entire fucking draft, that means number one, his team passed on him 6 times. Number two, 250 some odd, I think it's the 60s at this point, 60 some odd players were ranked higher than this guy. And then you'd have to look at 12, probably 13, maybe even 14. We got to look back. Quarterbacks were ranked higher than this guy by everyone. So, that's the thing that I wonder is, okay, well, what was that? There's got to be something to it, And so was it size?
Did the same thing
with
Brady.
All down to size.
They did the same thing with Brady.
Brady looked like a fucking 34-year-old father in Boston that was taking his son to the supermarket. That's why he got drafted that late.
Purdy looks similar, dude.
That's what I'm saying. So if they're still looking at it from that lens and not watching 4 years of starter tape,
I agree,
and all that shit, that it's their job. It's like, how aren't they looking at it? Right?
You also got to understand, quarterback's probably the least position that's taken in abundance. Once teams you're not going to waste a draft.
Yes.
You're not going to waste a draft pick on a second, third string quarterback.
Absolutely.
Usually you draft for the guy who's going to be the future. Yeah. And then every now and then the good teams will stockpile their second and third string.
There's only
later in the draft
15 teams in the draft that want a quarterback anyway. So I mean that's an
every year.
Too. Yes, that's an argument too. I mean you're not every 32 team. Every team in the league, the 32 teams.
It's not like a corner or wide receiver.
No, yeah.
Teams will take abundance of them because if you don't turn out to be shit, guess what? You might be a great special teamer.
But that's not happening with quarterback. I'm just saying, for a team to covet you and you can't leave, we want you. That's why we're drafting you. It's not why we're going to take a chance and have you be in UDFA here. We want you on the team for sure. My worry would be they didn't think to take him in the 6th. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I don't know. But this guy is proving that, to me, I've always told you this. My thing, I follow Parcells in as far as I want to see snaps. I want to see a quarterback play season after season after season with multiple
playing more is always
teammates,
better. These guys that play more is always better. And these guys that come from smaller schools is always better as well, I think.
Well, he started for 4 years, and it was at Iowa State, which he was boys with Brees. He was boys with David Montgomery. They had a big hug at the end of the game there. That's not a squad where you're loaded up with talent all over the place. You got to prove it.
And let me rephrase that. I like the quarterbacks not to come from small schools, but come from these smaller schools that still
in the big conferences
that still play in decent. Decent competition.
I
don't like the BYU quarterbacks. I don't like the Utah quarterbacks. But I like the teams that, the Wisconsins. Iowa is becoming that. I don't know if Iowa would be considered that years ago, but the teams that are kind of
in the draft, the New York Jets select Zach
son of a
Wilson.
bitch. I can't wait. I can't wait to get into him on the free. What the fuck did I do wrong? I can't wait to get into him on this offseason because we got to figure out where he goes. I think he goes somewhere.
Got to go.
Anyway, I just want one last thing I want to talk about with this game.
Sure.
And I said it on a different show, and I'm going to say it again now. Steve Wilkes, I think, sucks. I don't.
He did blow it. Yeah.
And I hope me saying this is bringing attention to it. He does not. Dude, what is Jared Goff known for sucking at? Performing under pressure. No pun intended there or anything like that.
Hey, listen, Jared, just pop a half a fucking blue pill. You'll be ready to go, baby.
With that being said, as I'm saying, he's a different quarterback when he's pressured.
Absolutely.
Do you know
stats prove that?
They pressured Goff only 10 plays this game.
Brutal. And they don't pressure. Like, that was the big thing. They don't pressure, and they still didn't.
And I wrote this down because I heard this stat earlier today, and I was actually pretty shocked by it. The difference between him and Purdy right now, and like I said, I do think we should give Jared Goff his flowers. I do think he had a hell of a game, and I was actually very impressed with how he played. But 10 plays, the 49ers had Jared Goff under pressure. During those 10 plays, Jared Goff put together a total of negative 13 yards. Negative 13 yards. Purdy under pressure for 15 plays. Now, clearly, Detroit didn't get to the quarterback enough either, but 15 is still more than 10. Under those 15 plays, Purdy executed the offense 127 yards.
Yep.
So this guy's playing well under pressure, which I think is part of the making of a great quarterback. Goff I like Goff as a quarterback. I just don't think he's a guy. I think he's a great bridge guy. I think he's a great kind of
where would you put him? Where would you put him? Because I don't necessarily agree with that, but where would you put him as far as rankings go? Like
my stuff. Okay. In the league, I don't know. I'd have to take my time and look at it. But like put it this way. To me, Jared Goff is like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. No. I think he's a guy that you can bounce around the league, and he's great while you're developing a quarterback, while you're putting something together.
No, he's similar to Kirk Cousins to me. I think he's a top 14 quarterback. Guy can't move. Cousins can't move. The guy threw for almost 4,600 yards this year. No. He's
got to be put in a situation.
I don't know. I mean, Detroit.
He has probably one of the top offensive lines in the league.
I mean,
and they have Ahmad,
who doesn't?
Two-headed monster.
Think about the guys you can count on with fucking 3 fingers. The guys that don't need a system. I mean,
you mean an offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, just everything. I mean, he's pretty set up. He's got Ben Johnson. He's got the line. He's got the back.
I think he's closer to like the 20s.
Yeah, no way.
I do.
He's middle of the road at worst, I think. But I agree though with you.
I'm taking Kirk Cousins before
with him and Cousins. You're not going to win a Super Bowl. I would agree with that. But no, I think that are they better than Baker Mayfield? Yes. Are they better than?
Yeah, but I don't think he's much better. I don't think the difference between Goff and Baker is like dramatic.
Man. I don't know. Bro, Goff is 6'5". Fucking Baker's 6 foot if he's lucky. I don't know.
All you care about is how tall
you need size. You need size in the fucking pocket. You need it. I don't know. We'll see. Let's save that for this week.
Yeah, we can break it down, and maybe I'll change my mind after diving into it. But I think off the top of my head,
we'll save that.
I would probably
we'll rank our top half of the league. That'll be great. Okay. That'll be great. We can definitely do that. All right, baby.
That's it for me, brother.
Yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to give you real quick, and right now we're just going to record it right now on a Monday night.
Hang on, I did forget one thing.
Okay.
Did you see the CJ Gardner at halftime?
Yes. I did see that. I know. The waving and shit. I think
he's going to be a candidate.
Yes,
you know what?
He should jerk off in a week.
He's gonna be a candidate. I'm happy you figured that out.
Yep.
At least jerk off of the week, maybe jerk off of the year.
Well, no, my jerk off of the year. It's at this point. I mean, I might as well just show you my kneecaps at this point. But
20. By the way, for those who don't know, we'll go into it further. But for 2023, the jerk off of the year was John Morant. Won it.
Oh God, yikes! I don't even know what sport he plays. Do they even play that? Do they even play that sport? Here's the thing. If I had to tell you right now, top of my head, based on what I saw this weekend, based on what I believe you always take in a big football game, and based on what we just can't get into our heads, apparently, I'm taking the Chiefs to win this game, man. I'm taking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
It's Monday after the weekend. You're already making your picks?
No, I mean I that's how I feel now. We'll see if it changes, but I doubt it.
There's no way.
I feel strongly about Kansas City winning this game right now.
I do not.
Yeah, I know, and it's funny. We talked about it for the past 2 weeks as far as Baltimore. If they come with their fucking lunch pail, as they used to say, and they show up and run the ball, they beat Kansas City. If Kansas City plays Miami, in Miami, Kansas City's going to get fucking boat raced by Miami. That's obvious, None of these things happened. And I think they didn't happen for unbelievably just one reason. Maybe Taylor Swift's a second reason, but I'm not going to get into that. They got Mahomes, man. And I'm just telling you, I think you're
going to give this guy some respect or what?
My big thing, I may give him some flowers. My big thing with when you pick a big game is give me the quarterback, and I want you to give me the defenses against the opposing quarterback. And to me, when you have Mahomes, who I think both of us now have put as the unanimous number one in the league, I'm not taking Purdy over Mahomes. I mean, I don't think anybody can.
No
number two, the way that this Kansas City defense has handled Lamar Jackson, has handled Josh Allen, and has handled Tua Tagovailoa in the playoffs. Do you think that Brock Purdy is going to be the guy that's going to end that streak of great defense?
I think of all those teams.
I
think of teams, the Niners have the best offensive line. I'll tell you that.
It's going to be great. I just right now, I can't prove to myself that I'm just going to keep betting against Mahomes. I'm just not going to do it. So right now I'm feeling Kansas City, but we'll see. But this week's going to be great.
Fuck them.
We're going to get into so much good shit this week. I think ranking the quarterbacks is going to be at the top of it. I still have not gotten into my unbelievably juicy news of the weekend. And it's going to deal with a former NFL player, which was also a former UFC and former WWE heavyweight champion. Huge news and some crazy fucking shit.
You talking about Pat McAfee or something?
No, not at all, actually. And never probably will. But I'm going to get into that this week, and we'll have some huge fucking crazy salacious shit with that.
We also do got to mention Kellen Moore brought in as the OC.
Yeah, Kellen Moore's going to the Eagles, and we'll talk about that.
We'll with Vic Fangio. We'll get into that.
Yep. And, I'm shaking at my boots over here, so I don't know if I'll be able to talk about it.
Oh, and I got to leave one. I got to leave one nugget before we get out of here.
Oh, little springs.
And I would wait, but I got to say it because I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know. So I'm just going to say it. Reading, watching, listening,
hearing.
There are reports going around saying that Magic and the crew over there in Washington might actually favor McDonald in Baltimore. What's his first name? I don't even know his first name. Mike. That's right. I did know that. Mm-hmm. Mike McDonald, the defense coordinator in Baltimore. If that happens, they're saying Ben Johnson could end up in Seattle. That would change everything to me.
Oh, man. Now, here's the thing, and we'll get into this again, but who would have ever guessed that in a year, where Mike Vrabel...
That was pretty good, by the way. I like that.
wasn't
You might
bad.
have to. You might have to start the whole show like that. We'll do our own 30 for 30.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it again. I don't want to blow it. But in a year that Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick, and honestly, another guy, Dan Quinn, that everybody thought that was going to get another HC job,
And supposedly Pete Carroll.
and Pete Carroll, I keep forgetting about that old fuck. All those guys are available, and none of them are going to be picked up. I mean, it's fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, we gotta get into it.
So we'll see, but that's what we got this week for. We have 2 weeks now until the Super Bowl, so we got plenty of shit to fill up, and we're definitely going to.
And I'm sure Rock's got a lot he wants to get into on the dodgeball game that's coming up. I know he's really excited about that. He's looking into the future of the NFL here.
The Pro Bowl game, Scotty. Oh man, it's gonna be great. Oh, I can't wait till they do the patty the patty cake fucking Baker's Man fucking song competition, and then they're gonna do the what else are they gonna do?
I heard the winners get a rose.
Fuck. I bet they do. Then we can really give them their flowers. Oh my god. All right, but that's it for tonight, and let's get together soon to get another one of these on the table here. And you're good, right? You don't want anything more?
Nah,
all right. Okay. All right, baby. Well, this is Rocco B, and for Scotty G, we're saying see you later and sayonara.
Adios.